Hi everyone, it's August 25th, 4 months till Christmas today, and this is Tim Knight with Slope of Hope. Um, as most of you know, I tend to be a bottoms up kind of investor, and it doesn't mean I drink all day. It means that I look at individual equities, uh, many hundreds of them, and base decisions really individually on those as opposed to the broad market on down. And as I was going through my charts today, the thing that struck me was how, and I really don't like using this term, but I'll use it, oversold things seemed. Let me give you a specific example of something I was short. China Automotive Systems, because we all know fine cars have come out from China over the many decades. This is CAAS. And, clearly this stock has gone a very long way. I don't remember exactly where I shorted it, but I had a pretty nice profit on it. Zooming in here a bit, I covered roundabout here. And that seems a little odd because it actually, in spite of having fallen about 50% already, it's broken beneath this really major support line. But it would not take much for it to get back up to like $16.50, $17 thereabouts. There's very little in the way of overhead supply here, so it wouldn't take much buying to get that up. And, a couple of bucks moving this, that's like 15%. That would wipe out a lot of my profit on this. And so when so many stocks look like that, I put them in my bouncers watch list and wait to re-enter at a more attractive price. Because as I've got 128 stocks in this bouncers list. I'm just going to show you a few here. I'm just kind of, it's loading real slowly, so maybe I'll only show one or two. But these are stocks that could be really attractive at the right price. And I want to watch them closely, and I look at them each day, but I don't have positions in them, and I really just plan to enter positions in the future at a better price. So the point is that yesterday and today, I covered many dozens of positions simply because I thought the profit on them was fat enough, and that I was really concerned that they would be very subject to a rise in the market. Now, looking at the ES here, on the one hand, anybody who's studied, more than half an hour of technical analysis can see this is a very toppy-looking pattern here. But there's a lot of sort of buying support happening low these many months from the government. And as I did in my post last night, I talked about the various points where this kind of slow down. My first point was reached today, which is this kind of messy zone between 1030 and 1050. But as I said, I don't think it's over. What I do think is that it's kind of nice that we had a pause today. The higher risk small caps had a particularly strong day, up over 1.5%. So for the bulls, the good news is that things whipped around today in the face of some yet another really bad data point in the economic scene. Because like day after day, the results are like astonishing even to the most pessimistic observers. Whereas for the bears, I would note that this kind of pattern within a pattern, this head and shoulders right here, is still kind of looming. Added to which the broken trend line was simply kind of retouched today. So we see here that this trend line here that I'm pointing to has been broken and was kissed again by today's rally. And that not only is this a toppy pattern in its own right, but there's a pattern within a pattern here. So I would, as far as the Russell and ... all those stocks that I'm looking as bounce plays, if we got up to somewhere between 62 and 63.5, this kind of area, certainly no higher than 63.82 right here. Well, now let's inch that up a bit. Let's inch that up to this gap right here. So let's call it 64.13. So somewhere in this neighborhood, a rally to somewhere in this neighborhood would make many stocks very attractive to re-short, in my opinion. Also, as always, worth watching is the is the euro dollar. Likewise broken, but likewise having a bit of a relief rally. This is one of only 3 longs I've got right now. One long I've got is every Pelican's best friend, British Petroleum, which has beautifully hit this horizontal level here. And I don't know how high it's going to rally, but to me, this is a much easier buy than a short right here. So I bought a pretty big slug of BP. If it got to the high 30s, I guess I would happily get out. I don't know what I'm going to do with that one. FXC, this is the euro bounce, the forex, long that. And finally, and I don't feel that strongly about this one. I might not know hold this for like a day, but this is US, so I bought this. I'm not that bonkers about it. I was actually thinking, God forgive me, of getting this just as a bit of a flyer, but frankly, the stock is so low, and my commissions are partly share based, and I just really don't want to waste that much money on commissions with such a cheap issue, because I can't really buy in quantity anymore. So, and it just seems to go down anyway, so it's probably for the best. So let's see, any other things worth noting? I would just say, by and large, most charts I look at, be they commodities, NASDAQ, what have you, all have roughly the same topping pattern. Clearly, precious metals have been quite firm in the face of a lot of weakness lately. I have gotten burned more than a few times by precious metals, especially recently, so I'm starting to not grab that skillet from the stove anymore. Those have been very, very strong, so I've been kind of scooting away from those. The VIX is still really not doing a thing. I haven't touched options for a while, and I almost did a week or two ago and talked myself out of it. I'm just not going to bother. I'm just going to stick with the simple stuff. And the other interesting kind of thing, which I've actually had good success day trading recently, has been TLT. It's not really clear to me how high this will go before really turning around. I've put this line just as a wild guess as to how high it might go. Today may well up in the top. I'm not sure. It's a pretty hard stock to short these days, but anyways, I pointed out the gap here and the gap here strike me as sort of interesting to watch the behavior after that gap. It'll be interesting to see if this plays out like this did, which is about a couple of weeks of monkeying around above the gap, and then just hello dog, and then a fall underneath it. So anyway, just to wrap up, I'm kind of long and short now. Sorry about the dog. Less long than short. 3 longs, 2 of them big, 154 shorts. Pretty much all of them small. Let me qualify that. Let me just apply label filters here and see what I'm short. Yeah, just a couple of ETF shorts. I got HYG, which is a really cool little guy right here, and then XLU. So I don't have any big ETF shorts in terms of the indexes. Who knows? We'll see the weekly jobs claims tomorrow morning, and I forget what's going on. GDP on Friday. So turned the knob down quite a bit on the bearishness today, but still positioned that way. But as I'm implying, a good strong day or two would really get me in the mood for a lot more shorts at better prices. So I'm just kind of waiting in the wings. That is it for me today. I'm going to go do other stuff now. Good night, and I'll see you back here on Thursday.